In July 2025, mass deportations in the United States became a focal point of controversy as the White House faced accusations of non-compliance with court orders related to immigrant deportations. If you're interested in this topic, comment number 1. The Trump administration, led by President Donald Trump since January 2025, pledged to execute the largest deportation program in U.S. history, targeting millions of undocumented immigrants. These actions, particularly the use of the Alien Enemies Act of 1798 and third country deportation flights, sparked significant debate. This article provides a neutral and clear overview of the events, statistics, public reactions, and comments from X, based on reports as of July 2025. Upon taking office, President Trump swiftly implemented stringent immigration policies, enhancing the operations of U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement and invoking the Alien Enemies Act. This 1798 law allows the president to deport non-citizens without judicial review during situations deemed as invasion or wartime. In March 2025, Trump used the act to deport approximately 238 alleged members of the Venezuelan Tren de Aragua gang and 23 individuals linked to MS-13 to a prison in El Salvador. This move drew criticism when a federal judge ordered a halt to such flights, but the White House claimed the flights had departed before the order was issued. The deportations extended beyond those with criminal records to include undocumented immigrants, asylum seekers, and individuals with legal work permits, prompting lawsuits from organizations like the American Civil Liberties Union, alleging violations of due process rights. As of July 2025, ICE and news reports indicate a significant escalation in deportation activities, though logistical and legal challenges persist. Key data includes arrests and deportations. In the first 100 days of Trump's term, ICE conducted around 6,000 arrests, including 1,179 on January 27th and 1,016 on January 29th. By April, over 350 deportation flights were executed, some using military aircraft. In July, ICE aimed for 3,000 daily arrests, up from an average of 1,660 in the first 100 days. Third country deportations. Countries like El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, and Brazil agreed to accept U.S. deportees, including non-citizens of their nations. On July 6th, 8 immigrants were deported to South Sudan, a country most had no ties to, after the Supreme Court lifted a federal judge's ban. These individuals were held in a container at a U.S. military base in Djibouti for 6 weeks prior. Deportation costs. ICE reported an average cost of $8,505 per hour for standard deportation flights, with high-risk flights reaching $27,000 per hour. Military aircraft use was halted in March due to high costs and inefficiency. The U.S. paid El Salvador $6 million to accept 261 deportees, alleged gang members. Impact on U.S. citizens. At least 7 U.S. citizens, including children, were mistakenly detained or deported between January and April 2025, raising concerns about inadequate identity verification during ICE raids. Self-deportation program. The Department of Homeland Security's Project Homecoming encouraged voluntary departure via the CBP Home app, offering $1,000 in travel cost assistance, reducing deportation costs by 70% compared to the average $17,121 per case. South Sudan deportations. On July 3rd, the Supreme Court permitted the deportation of 8 individuals to South Sudan, despite a prior order from Judge Brian Murphy requiring advance notice and an opportunity to object. 7 of the 8 had no ties to South Sudan, and lawyers warned of risks of detention or mistreatment upon arrival. Los Angeles raids. ICE raids in Los Angeles in June sparked large protests, prompting Trump to deploy 4,000 National Guard troops and 700 Marines to maintain order. Raids continued in July, targeting high immigrant neighborhoods and raising concerns about military involvement in civilian matters. Alien enemies. Act controversy. The use of the act for expedited deportations without hearings drew strong criticism from groups like the ACLU. In March, Judge James Boasberg halted a flight deporting 261 people to El Salvador, but the White House argued the order lacked a legal basis, as the flights had already departed. This dispute persisted into July, with accusations of deliberate circumvention of court orders. Mistaken deportations. Cases like a family in Sackett's Harbor, New York, detained despite compliance with immigration processes, highlighted inaccuracies in ICE operations. Lawyers attributed these errors to pressure to increase deportation numbers. A June 2025 Pew Research Center survey found that 43% of Americans believe deportation policies enhance safety. 33% view them as harmful, and 24% see no significant impact. However, 80% support deporting those with serious criminal convictions. Protests in Los Angeles. June and July protests reflected discontent among immigrant communities and activists. California Governor Gavin Newsom called the military deployment Trump's authoritarian fantasy. Urban resistance. Cities like Chicago, New York, and Boston vowed to protect immigrants, with mayors refusing ICE cooperation. Conversely, Republican-led states like Tennessee supported ICE operations. Legal challenges. Over 50 lawsuits challenged Trump's deportation policies by July. On July 2nd, Judge Randolph D. Moss ruled that Trump lacked authority to create an alternative immigration system, affirming congressional regulations. This ruling was stayed for 2 weeks pending appeal. Comments on X reflect polarized sentiments. Soju Connoisseur, July 7, 2025. No one's stopping mass deportations now. Injunctions lifted, ICE funded, Homan still leading. We're about to see what we voted for. This supports deportations as a voter mandate. D. The Defiant, July 2, 2025. Did you see the Supreme Court ruling on nationwide injunctions? They've deported legal residents and citizens. Due process is dead. You're now living in a country no different from China. This expresses alarm over due process violations. Arosa Flores, July 4, 2025. Before the election, people doubted mass deportations could happen. Now the administration has the legal ability and funding to deport more people than ever. This highlights the feasibility of the deportation program. Cam VTV, June 16, 2025. It's happening. Trump just ordered the biggest mass deportation campaign in history. ICE is gearing up to hit Democrat-run cities hard. Millions of illegal immigrants will be gone. No more warnings. This strongly supports Trump's actions and their scale. Due process concerns. The ACLU argues that using the Alien Enemies Act for rapid deportations without hearings violates constitutional rights. Judge Boasberg's order for notice and objection opportunities was challenged by the White House as legally baseless. Humanitarian impact. Deportations to third countries like South Sudan, where many lack connections, raised fears of mistreatment or torture. Amnesty International accused the administration of targeting Venezuelans with racist gang allegations. Economic impact. The American Immigration Council estimated that deporting 11 million undocumented immigrants could cost $315 billion, with additional economic losses from reduced tax revenue and labor shortages in agriculture and construction. The mass deportations of July 2025 mark a contentious phase in U.S. immigration policy. With increased arrests, use of the Alien Enemies Act, and third-country deportations, the Trump administration is pursuing its pledge for large-scale removals. However, these actions face accusations of bypassing court orders, humanitarian concerns, and mistaken detentions of U.S. citizens. X comments reflect deep divisions, with some supporting strict enforcement for national security and others decrying violations of human rights and due process. As deportations continue, the U.S. grapples with balancing law enforcement, human rights, and democratic values. This article has utilized reliable sources and perspectives from social media to provide a comprehensive view. For a deeper understanding, readers can refer to statements from DHS, CBP, or reports from Reuters, The Guardian, and WOLA.
It's like 50-50 right now.
Pon la rodilla ahí. Una solamente.
Where? The DHS. The DHS sticker on ice.
To the Ford Ranger and an F-150.
¿Te recuerdas o no? Sí. ¿Sí?
He's got 3 prior removals, 2 DWI. Yeah, let's just roll up and take him right now.
Y'all think so? Hopefully. We'll see.
Work truck.
Work truck. So, but I'm... All right. She's at home right now.
We'll let you make a phone call here in a minute, but we're not going to. We're going on a day to work?
Yeah, I'm over to work. Okay, you know that number? Leave. And I saw one truck with this.
Yeah, let's just roll up and take him right now.
We're going on a day to work?
Yeah, I'm over to work. Okay, you know that number?